Hi guys, Steve Lynch here. Today I want to talk about servant leadership. I want to talk about the term itself. I want to talk about how we might apply it, not only to our jobs, to our sales, but to our life in general, and how it might benefit us. Now I've found it very beneficial in my life. Let's take a look at the term itself, servant leadership. Just the term itself, servant meaning servitude, and leadership, meaning that we're going to lead something, is a fairly obvious definition or description of this term. But when we begin to apply this to our life and to our positions, it becomes a whole different animal. And the way that it works is that we need to think about everyone around us. We can think about them as clients, or we can think about them as people that we serve. Now, when I say serve, do I mean that we're going to get down and we're going to lick some boots and we're just going to, grovel at people's feet and we're just going to give up the world? Well, no, that'd be just like stupid, okay? It's not a realistic expectation. It doesn't have any longevity, and it really doesn't have any good purpose. Those are things that people do to placate or to gain something unethically. They act in a certain way that would imply servitude, but really means actually a theft, an emotional or an ethical theft of some kind. No, no, what I'm talking about is completely different. I'm talking about a genuine from the heart kind of realization that as human beings, we're actually here to serve one another. Okay, and so this can apply not only to our daily life, to our families, to our friends, but can also apply to our workplace and those that we work for and with. How can this actually make our lives better if we're always running around serving? Well, to serve is to lead. In other words, I've had many supervisors or managers in my lifetime that would not only ask me to do tough things, but I would see them in their daily walk doing tough things and making tough calls. And this is honest leadership and honest servant leadership, because they're more than willing to serve not only the people that are above them, but the people that are below them. I've seen instances, and I've had clients myself who were billionaires. They were CEOs, they were high level executives, maybe lawyers, maybe doctors. Uh, but when you spoke to them, they spoke to you as though you were on their level, as though you were as important to them as any aristocrat or any high level, high profile person that they might want to mix with in their circles. You see, and that's important. It's important that we are able to uh, treat the hobo on the street, the homeless person, or to treat the janitor when we walk inside of a building with the same respect and honest, pure agape love in our heart that we would treat uh, the highest ranking individual that we ran across that day. And how we apply that to our workplace is that we just look around and we look at our people that we work alongside of. Now, how are they doing? What is their health like? What's their family like? What are their trials during the day? In fact, really, we want to boil that down to what do they need? Okay, what do they need to make their job better, their life a little better, and how can this apply to you? What can you do for that person in your daily walk alongside of them that can make their life a little easier? See, what I'm getting at here is that everyone is our client and everyone is worthy of being served at one time or another by us in a genuine, heartfelt manner. If we're doing it for gain, that's always going to show. But when we begin to look at the people around us, and again, I'm still talking about our occupations here, our clients, our co-workers, our managers, we begin to take an honest stock of what's needed to help them in their walk. Well, you know, that's going to enhance their walk. That's going to enhance their day. It's going to add something positive to their day as opposed to something negative. That's going to make them smile, as a matter of fact, because you know what? It's very rare these days, or I've heard it said that it's very rare that people genuinely want to help one another in their daily walk. They always are preoccupied. They're always thinking about themselves and what they need and how they're going to get the things that are going to take them further. Well, if we cast that aside and we start working with the people who are near us in our walk, the law of large numbers, honestly and energetically, is going to catch up with us. And those same people that we are serving are going to turn around and they're going to begin to realize that, hey, you know, here I have someone who is wanting me to succeed. They're wanting my joy and they're wanting my happiness and they're willing to give it and not really expect anything back. So life is a circle, okay? What goes around comes around. And if we look at it in those terms, then those people around us at our workplace, our managers, our other associates, are eventually going to open up and they're going to want to reciprocate. That's a good word, reciprocity. They're going to want to give back something that is given to them, and they're going to start paying things forward as it was, or you know, at least trading energy back and forth. And that's a good thing. You know, it'll make them think at first, and sometimes people don't trust that kind of energy because they've been ethically, morally wrong so many times with people wanting to be nice to them that it's a trust issue at first. Okay, they don't trust that situation. It's like the ice on the lake. It looks pretty thick. You just don't know until you see somebody go out there and just walk across that pond, you know, with no problem. Then you trust it. Okay, so it's kind of like that. Now, how's this going to increase our sales? Well, it's quite simple. When people understand that you are truly there to serve them, that you are truly interested in what's going to make them happy, they're more likely to trust what you have to tell them. They're going to look for your consultation again and again and again. And they're going to trust whatever mechanism you supply them, or whatever product, or you know, whatever consultation you're going to give them. And the same thing can be said of all the people around you, your family, friends, co-workers. So servant leadership. Now we've talked about the serving, okay? So how does the leadership really play into this? Well, it's quite simple. When you begin to serve those around you, you're actually providing leadership in the form of example. You're giving example of how things can work to the good of everyone and how things can get done properly if we apply teamwork. So you're actually at that point you're providing a type of leadership, you know, and even if you're the manager and you want things to go a certain way, you're still serving those that are your associates or your subordinates. You're still serving them to help them serve you. So this big circle of reciprocity, and you're the one who's going to open that up for them to see. And in that, you become the leader. You become the servant, but you become the leader. And the end result of that is that everybody's going to have a little piece of happiness, and everyone is going to get what they need, and everyone is going to feel heard, and everyone is going to feel assisted, including yourself, because that's all going to turn around. So the takeaway from this servant leadership is quite simple. When you serve, you lead. Plain and simple. And when you serve, you are not the lowest. When you serve, you are attaining a higher goal, a higher position, a position of love. And that is a beautiful thing. All right, go out and be those servant leaders.